Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. We have tons of stuff to get through in today's video, so no more jibber jabber, let's get straight into it. We begin with a massive update for the Andor series. Bespin Bulletin have revealed that they've heard Andor Season 1 is coming out in August of this year. On Twitter, they said that Andor is reportedly the next major Disney Plus series that will arrive after Ms. Marvel, and Disney is targeting an August 2022 air date. They also hinted that the Bad Batch Season 2 is going to be running alongside it and releasing around the same time, so it looks like an overlap is almost inevitable, unless of course the Bad Batch is going to be moved to 2023, but we have no information on that just yet. The final bit of information that they revealed is that The Mandalorian Season 3 is still slated for a very late 2022 release, very likely in December. Time will tell about the Bad Batch and Mando, but they're very certain that Andor is releasing in August. Really exciting stuff. So now guys, moving on to our next update because we have so much to get through, let's discuss The Mandalorian Season 3. Yesterday we got news of the living waters under the mines of Mandalore playing a big role in the upcoming third season, and Making Star Wars also leaked that Bo-Katan is going to play a big role in those scenes, alongside the armourer Djarin, Paz Vizsla, and a bunch of known and unknown Mandalorians too. Maybe even some from Star Wars Rebels, but not Sabine Wren. I asked Making Star Wars if Sabine is going to feature in The Mandalorian, but as we know, she is set to make her live-action debut in the Ahsoka series. Interestingly, the goal of the season, according to these outlets, is going to be the task of uniting Mandalore, and one detail that was very surprising indeed is that the armourer and Bo-Katan are going to be allies by the end of the season, and not enemies as many of us assumed following on from the events of the Book of Boba Fett, where the armourer seemed to blame the downfall of Mandalore on Bo-Katan and her family. According to the report, the clans seemingly are going to come together for a ceremony. They add that a purification ceremony of sorts is going to take place beneath the caves and feature a giant lake, as well as a torch lighting event and drums playing as well. And this is going to be Din Djarin atoning for the sin of removing his helmet. The report adds that the armourer hands Bo-Katan a torch, and the Mandalorians in unison begin chanting, "For Mandalore, for Mandalore." Making Star Wars also hinted that Bo-Katan might be the one to become the ruler of Mandalore once again. We all expected Din, considering he is the wielder of the Darksaber, but according to what they've heard, it seems like it might be Bo-Katan, something which I can imagine a lot of fans being very disappointed with, given the tease of potential antagonism and jealousy in the Season 2 finale. However, an interesting and exciting tidbit reveals that before or after the ceremony, they're not too sure which, a Mythosaur is going to awaken, and it's going to chase the Mandalorians, causing a lot of trouble and destruction, before later being brought under control. Now, the Mythosaur was referenced in the Book of Boba Fett by the armourer, and she called it a mere legend, an extinct creature that is part of a very important Mandalorian prophecy, but as we're going to come to learn in Season 3, it's very much still alive. And I can imagine the CGI being absolutely incredible on the Mythosaur. Just look how well they pulled off the Krayt Dragon in Season 2, and the Sand Beast in the Book of Boba Fett. So seeing the Mythosaur in live action is going to be a real treat on the eye. Now I will say, my dear friends, more Mando Season 3 leaks are reportedly coming really soon, so stay tuned for more. So now guys, let's talk about Samuel L. Jackson, who has commented on his possible return to Star Wars in The Mandalorian. Now, if you've been around on my channel for a long time, then you'll know just how many Mace Windu lived videos I've made. I am 100% on the Mace Windu lives train, and I was pushing this narrative really hard in the build up to the Book of Boba Fett, but unfortunately, it was not in the cards for Season 1. Tamar Morrison is on the same page as me, and even he said that in Season 2, he hopes that Jon Favreau is going to write a story where Boba Fett tracks down an elderly Mace Windu for revenge. Samuel L. Jackson himself has also wanted to return as Mace for many years. Even in the behind the scenes of Revenge of the Sith, Samuel L. Jackson asked George Lucas if Mace Windu survived, given that Jedi can fall from great heights and live, and George basically replied with, "Yeah, sure, Mace Windu survived." The only problem is, how well can they execute such a story to explain where Mace has been throughout the entire Imperial era, and on top of that, what kind of character would he be if he was introduced in The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett? Well, now, Samuel L. Jackson sat down as a guest on Happy, Sad, Confused, during which he talked about a potential Star Wars return as Mace Windu. When asked if fans should hold out hope for a Mace Windu comeback, Jackson boldly admitted admitted that he wants to reprise his role as the Jedi. In his own words, he says, "Definitely, there's a huge history of people with one hand returning in Star Wars. The only person I've ever said that to about coming back was Bryce Dallas-Howard, because I just did a movie with her. And he basically asked her if she could hook him up and include him in the story. He told her, put me back in there, put me in, coach, I'm ready. You know I'll learn to lightsaber left-handed, come on, hook me up." And look, many prequels fans, myself included, would love to see Mace Windu return, and some fans believe his return is inevitable. Doubt surrounding the character's demise in Revenge of the Sith has long been a topic of discussion amongst fans. Still, a compelling storyline should be showcased in order to make the character's return worth it. And in addition, Samuel L. Jackson's willingness to return to the role should be a very positive sign for Lucasfilm, mainly because it would not be hard to negotiate on the studio's end. The question is it going to happen and when? I've always said, you've got to put it in a Boba Fett series. Don't put it in the Kenobi show, maybe the Mandalorian, but the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 is the perfect opportunity. And I know there are going to be some fans who say, get over it, he's dead, move on. And to that I say, just watch my previous videos where I put forward all of the arguments on why Mace Windu lived and should return in an upcoming Star Wars series. In fact, here's a little taste, a little clip from the last time I spoke about this topic. Enjoy. And you might say to me, but Meg, all the guidebooks and visual dictionaries say that Mace Windu died. F*** the visual dictionaries and f*** the guidebooks. They don't know what they're talking about. Unless George Lucas said it, I don't believe them. Now to move on to point number 2. Mace Windu is a very important plot device going forward in the Star Wars universe. With all of the shows that Lucasfilm have announced, Mace Windu's potential survival really ups the stakes to a tremendous degree. And so finally, my dear friends, let's talk a little bit about Jedi Fallen Order, the sequel. We were expecting some information at EA Play Live 2022, but the event is no longer happening. IGN revealed that EA will not be hosting its traditional EA Play events this year. Instead, the publishing giants will be revealing more about its projects, quote, when the time is right for each one. Having said that, my dear friends, not all hope is lost, because it's still expected that we're going to get an update on the game at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. So even though EA Play Live is not happening this year, we should hear word about Jedi Fallen Order 2 at Star Wars Celebration, and as I've said in the past, it's not going to be called Fallen Order 2. The sub-franchise is just Jedi, so it's going to be Jedi and then a different name to Fallen Order. In either case, we will be ready and waiting. So with that said, my dear friends, that brings us to the end of this Star Wars news update. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Show me some love with a big fat thumbs up. Comment your thoughts down below. Hit subscribe, give that bell a tickle. Do all of that good stuff down below. And if you want more videos that are not found here on YouTube, then consider becoming a patron. The link is down there in the description. But until the next one, have an amazing day and may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.